what's up, y'all? It's your girl Ash. Thanks again for checking me out here at Ashland. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Let's go ahead and jump in. We are recapping episode 3 of Queens, Who You Calling a Bitch. And it starts off basically, the show was a shit show. Basically, let's go ahead and talk about that. So Jill couldn't remember her lyrics. I guess a part of the show, or maybe a mistake. There was this whole Jill, Valeria, excuse me, ends up falling through it. There was an omission in the show about 7 minutes long because Brianna had to sing a lullaby to her son. So they're reading this terrible article critic who's going in on them because of their terrible show, basically saying if you're just stuck back in the 90s and just want to see old nostalgia, that's a reason to hit the show, because it was a complete mess. Basically, they are middle aged and out of touch. Yes, they told them, ripping them a whole new butt, like going in on them. So they're trying to figure out how they're gonna redeem themselves, even just from that. They're talking about a show, and E-Rock is like, I can't even get y'all a show right now. Not even at Chuck E. Cheese. Don't nobody want y'all. Y'all that bad at this point. And so as well, they just, getting back, into life outside of, that show. Brianna's husband, Jeff, he has reclaimed his memory. He has his memory back now. Jill has a interview with Out Magazine in regards to her coming out. And Brianna's, not Brianna, Naomi's daughter is going to be coming to LA because she has an audition at this Hellman School of Music. All right, so what's the deal now? So besides that, we're getting back into what's going on with the show. What, as far as them, being a group, where we're going to move to now. So Valeria suggests that we need some new music. Boom, not a bad idea. But as well, maybe we need to change our name too. Basically, just figuring out we might need to revamp our whole new look, revamping who we are. Instead of rapping about that past stuff, let's talking about where we're at right now, right? So they going listening to beats. E-Rock's throwing in beats. Nobody's really liking the beats or whatnot. And Naomi's like, what are we doing anyway? I'm usually the one who, you know, figures out the beat, figures out the concept, and I'm the one who booms down the lyrics. And Brianna's like, like Heisman that ass. No more. That's how it used to be. We ain't doing that no more. We're gonna be going ahead and moving forward. I feel like we should be able to, each, write for ourselves or whatnot. Meanwhile, of course, we know Valeria can't write, right? So basically, Brianna's like, let's battle. Let's do a battle, and we will decide, from there. If I win, everybody writes for themselves. If you win, then basically, you get to write for all of us. Naomi will continue to get to write from all of us. So, y'all, this battle. Talk about going in. Okay, so Brianna goes first. Brianna was, she kept it cool, kept it classy. Spit was nice. But when Naomi's turn, oh, she went on and guns off, blazing, boom, boom. Like, none. Just everything was in. She was talking about, how she, was basically out there, basically, called her a hoe or whatnot. So, boom, that round, Naomi ended up running that round. Next go round, gloves was off. Brianna went back at her. Who your baby daddy? Like, they was going in. It was nice. It was some nice flows. Naomi went back in, but Brianna ended up winning that round or whatever, whatnot. So third round, Brianna ripped her a whole new ass, but mainly just about leveling up and, just coming into a better place, and you trying to be here and we trying to go here. It basically left Naomi all up in her feelings. It was all written up on her face. She was so in her feelings that basically she drops, she walks out like, well, try to invent yourselves without me. And deuces. Heads out of there. Get out your feelings, boo. Like, it ain't even all that. Like, all in all, what Brianna said was just the truth. It's not all about you, especially not anymore. Not that it ever was. We trying to move to, an elevated place. We're in a different place than where we are as women. Why we even still trying to stay in this place? But anywho, we ain't gonna get too much into my opinion. Now we're just gonna break it off, and everybody's just, we checking into everybody's life, and Brianna's up first. And basically, she seems like she's basically outside of, the music and the group. She's full-time husband she's full-time with taking care of her husband. And because he suggests like maybe getting like a nurse to come in and help out. And she's like, nope, we're not going in debt to come to have a nurse come in and to take care of your cheating self. So he's like, well, just go do something for yourself. Whatever you want to do, go get your nails done, go get a massage, go do something for yourself. And Mama ends up going and seeing a divorce lawyer. That's what she decides to do with her time. But the divorce lawyer kind of just, I think, discouraged her out of really even wanting to move forward, because she was telling her that it was basically going to be war, that divorces aren't pretty. They just aren't pretty at all. And everyone goes in thinking that, oh, it's going to go like this, but the gloves come off. It always ends up war. She's going to come out as being um, the abandoned, the parent that's abandoning the children because she's in the music industry. So, left her, unsure if that's even if she want to proceed with that. They got to pop up at the school though, because the principal is concerned about the language that they're using within the house. Their daughter had Brianna's necklace that said nasty bitch on it. And surprisingly, Jeff took a whole stand, like had me thinking, like, that brain surgery, using all kinds of big words, just basically saying that my daughter should be able to express herself without being able to, a word being able to define her at the same time. And basically the chain is basically a piece of art, because, his wife's work is, he laid this down so nicely, y'all. Like, Brianna was like so impressed. She was like, babe, that was a real nice thing for me or whatnot. So he took that as like a, hey, I want to take you somewhere, I want to take you somewhere special. Come on, trust me. Even though it's hard to trust me, let's go to this place or whatnot. And he takes her to like this bourbon brewery, I guess, or whatnot, if that's what you want to do, or distillery, if that's what you want to call it. And they have this cask, and I found out that's like a barrel of wine, or in this case, like a barrel of liquor, and it was a cask of bourbon. And on the cask was a smaller version or whatnot. It was the year of their marriage, and so they seem to have assuming that there was bourbon in that cask, or might have got, of course, they were at a distillery, so they might have got the bourbon from somewhere else, from there. But they're sharing, the bourbon, having a good time, chucking it up, laughing. He talks about, he, wants them to get back to us. He wants to make things work. He wants her to be able to trust him again. And just as he's saying all these nice things, the mistress calls. Like, what? Like, just like right on time. And she's like, why is she calling? Why is she calling? And he's like, I don't know why she's calling. I haven't talked to her. I haven't answered her calls. Just not too long ago, I didn't even know who she was. And so he's like, again, trying to get back to us. I want us to work or whatever. Tell me something. She was like, well, I went to go see a divorce lawyer, as if that wasn't what do you mean went to go see a divorce lawyer? Because she's like, I need to know. I need the answers. How, what, when, where, who, what, how long was she the only person? Basically, he was like, yes, she was the only person. The affair was like 3 to 4 months, and he was like, again, let's make this work. I don't want to, leave like this when we've sacrificed so much. And why did he say that? Because that was a trigger. She was like, we sacrificed so much. Basically, I gave up my whole life to be here with you. Basically let you have your dreams. I basically propped you up and took care of the kids so you could do you. And at this point, I don't know if I can forgive. I don't know how we can go forward, because he wants to know if we can move forward, if that's something that they want to do. Can she forgive him? Are they done? She don't know. And we're going to leave it at that, right? So we're going to move on to Jill. And she's good. She's having her interview with, the Out magazine. And the vibe is, I just picked up on a vibe automatically from it. And so just asking about normal stuff, her husband, how she came out. Basically, it ending up in, I guess, Jill is now the sexiest lesbian in the world out, apparently, or whatnot. And Jill's like, yeah, I don't really know about that. I'm just being me. But she basically ends up inviting her out to a gay bar with her and her friends. Mind you, of course, Jill ain't never been to no gay bar before, so she's out hanging out, meeting, her friends, and they're, I guess they're cool, being a friend, being the friends that you would be when when your other mutual friend brings in another friend. And then they mentioned that they all dated each other. And basically everybody at the bar has just about all dated each other. Yeah. 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 So she has a good time. We're gonna leave it at that. No. Pillow Princess. I had to look that up, y'all, because I did not know what that was. But I'm not gonna lie. My first thought was, okay, is that somebody who likes to lay on their back a lot? But basically ended up being someone who's more of a giver. Excuse me, who's more of a receiver than a giver. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit, and even after like going back and watching it again, like just to kind of like catch the lingo, I wasn't really understanding what it was. I think that I was going to use her for their advantage because she's a celebrity and a gay celebrity at that. Maybe that was just the gist of it, and I'm thinking more into it. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about that or whatnot. So she, end of the night, goes back home, practicing lyrics, ignores Tina's phone call, but replies back to this text message from, I guess the reporter's name is Alicia, I think is what it was. And she's like, oh, you were a hit, my girls loved you, come to dinner, tomorrow night and let's do this again. Goes to dinner, but it's just her and the Alicia girl. And basically she's like, yeah, lesbians flake. Oh, okay, got it. So it's just them. So she's like, well, can I suggest anything for you? Because my ex is the chef here. And Jill immediately picks up on vibes like, you don't, bring someone new, to your ex's workplace or around your ex unless you're trying to make them jealous. And she was like, yeah, basically, that's basically what's happening. So next thing you know, she's like, okay, well, I'm glad that actually it's just me and you at this date. And then just starts rubbing on her thigh and stuff. And I mean, jerking her thighs open and stuff, trying to get all up in them. I was like, okay, it's getting a little hot up under this table or whatnot. So Jill's like, okay, I gotta excuse myself. Let me go to the bathroom. Jill go to the act like she's going to the bathroom and skip out the door. Like, wait, let me pause on this play. So calls Tina, checks in, like, I miss you. Tina wants her to come home. Next thing you know, knock on the door. It's this Alicia girl. Like, do you not get a clue? You know she got a girlfriend. Like, how more disrespectful can you be? So we gonna see y'all what happened, because it shows some more stuff, but I don't. It don't. I we gonna see next week what happened with that. I need to know for sure, before I start making assumptions, because I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. Think maybe she didn't take it there, but she is newly out, so maybe she want to explore herself. You never know. So, good old my girl Naomi, right? So, she's picking up JoJo. JoJo's just getting into LA. She's having flashbacks about Cameron, asking her about JoJo's dad. And basically, they need to just go ahead, though, and just get on over to Hellman for what kind of, I guess, seems like a meet and greet uh, tour type of thing or whatnot. So, it's obviously a big culture shock, from being, in Atlanta. This is now, she's surrounded by, white people, and basically kind of feeling like she doesn't fit in. She goes to introduce herself, and they're kind of, like upping her a little bit, like the way that the lingo, the way they talk as well is, not how she talks. Like, what's your discipline? She wasn't, familiar with that. And what's your I don't even remember what it was, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But even one of the people there thought Naomi worked there, asking her for a drink or whatnot. She was like, "Girl, I kill you, I cut you," something like that. And Honey walked off real nice or whatnot. But basically, one of the guys that JoJo ends up meeting kind of, I guess, gives her tea on the song that they're supposed to be auditioning for, and kind of asking her if she prepared. But obviously, it seemed like it was shade or whatnot. So she decides, she needs to go and practice. And so she gets discouraged. She's like, how am I basically going to get this? How am I going to do this? And Naomi's trying to, encourage her, give her, encouraging words like, you got this, you can do this. I didn't raise a quitter. Ooh, trigger. That was not the right thing to say, ma'am. And JoJo looked at her like, basically, you want to come up in here and try to save the day. This ain't what it's about. You just here to support me, and we just need to leave it at that. And Naomi felt like at this point, you always just basically trying to shoot daggers at me. You always, coming at me. And she's like, you basically can't tell me what to do. Like, you can't tell me not to quit when you quit to be, a solo artist. You don't tell me anything. You don't give me answers, especially as far as answers when it comes to my dad. Ooh, got her again. So they go separate ways. Naomi works more on lyrics. JoJo, practices more. Naomi comes back, stuff in hands, like, hey, I used to get nervous too before shows. This is, what I used to do. Brought us some food as well. Brought us some shoes. Just to kind of like get her in a good mood, and as well to, to encourage her back up, and just had a nice conversation with her about what it is to be a black woman in the world today, and just kind of, let her know that you have to let them know who you are, and that you're magical, and that yes, you're going to be different, and that your differentness is going to help you to stand out in this world. Real nice touching moment or whatnot, nice little lesson or whatnot. So um the show, the audition, she does the audition, and she remixes. She plays what she's supposed to play, but then she remixes it or whatnot. She ends up sliding in there. I think the song was Cream. By Cream. I can't remember what it was called. Crush on You, Bodak Yellow, and then she slid in Nasty Girl at the end and rapped to it as she was playing it on the piano or whatnot. And it was cool. It was lit. Like, Naomi stood up, gave like a standing ovation. She was like, I ain't gonna clap for my baby. Like, it was cute or whatnot. All in all, she got in and won for the books. So But she's like, Mom, all I ask, all in all, though, is that you help me to find my dad. I want to at least look for him myself. Just give me any information. I know you said you don't remember, but if there's anything, let me know. All right, so boom. Let's get on over to Valeria. I know I'm feeling feeling the waves towards her, whatever, whatnot. But we know she can't write. She knows she can't write. So she pull up on E-Rock like, this what you do. This your job. You need to help me figure this out. I need to prove Naomi wrong and prove to her that I can come up with my own lyrics or whatnot. So he's like, you just need to tack back in. He was, going over old lyrics that they had done that just had not been released yet. And she was like, yeah, I ain't feeling that. That's a mess. It was a mess. Should be ashamed for even writing some of that stuff. But so he's like, all right, well, you just need to like clear your mind, and takes her, to go out to eat at this Puerto Rican restaurant and just kind of like start to like reminisce. And he starts asking her like, do you miss Queens? Because they used to go to a Puerto Rican restaurant in Queens. So she's like, no, I only, not, she didn't even say no. Her words were exactly, I only look forward. And he's like, I don't really believe you. She's like, maybe you forgot where I come from. Like, my mom left me, basically this is because of how basically, I guess, basically because of how she grew up is why, one, she don't live, she don't look back, and she don't have regrets. Right. So he jumped to the dance floor, and he dancing, grooving, bopping, whatnot. And she was like, all right, boom, I do. I miss Queens or whatever or whatnot. So they have a good time. They leave, get back to the house, and, she ready to go ahead and, dip out. And he's like, what you doing? She's like, just because you did this don't mean you're gonna get no. It ain't like that. He's like, nah, we got work to do basically. And that's what she needed to get her back in that mindset. She was able to, fill it out. Looked like she was able to go ahead and get her some bars on there or whatnot. So, after she comes out the booth, they embrace, hug, like, thank you. And then it looked like they about to, kiss or whatnot. But, she stops it like, I told myself that we would never do this again. We're not going to do this again at all, basically. And he was like, what was he saying? That's what it was. That's what it was, y'all. Baby, was there a baby? It left me under the impression that there might have been a baby that might have popped up in a picture, maybe between them, or maybe he might have just been saying all in general that she would have been a great mom. He hits her back again, going back down memory lane, and he says to her, I think I think you would have been a good mom. Or like, you don't, think about the. Basically, that's what it was. He was like, you don't think about like the what if, or like what we could have been or what we could have be. She was reminding him like, no, I don't, I don't look back. I don't do all that. He was like, well, you could have been, for all it's worth, I think you would have been a great mom. And she was like, I never even wanted to be a mom. I wanted a career, and that's why I did the things that I did. You keep, you don't believe me, but this is kind of like what it is or whatever or whatnot. And she left or whatever or whatnot. So come back together. They got to do this rehearsal. Yes, Naomi comes back, even though through all that stuff, and they go ahead and not rehearse, but put down their tracks, do their lyrics, and it was lit. Naomi's lyrics seemed to be like more centered around her daughter, and rekindling and getting back that relationship, but as well as love and how that's played, a part, as well as a hurt in her life. Valeria, just talking about money, leveling up, how her past as well has impacted her future. Rihanna's lyrics was mainly about her family, the sacrifices that she's made for her husband, and and just wanting to move forward. And that in the day, that she's basically still a bad bitch, And Jill, it's just about her lifestyle. She's a pastor. Yes, she's gay, but this is where she is, and she's going to continue to be her and not let anything, come in the way of that or impact that. So, lay down the tracks. They are literally impressed with the tracks that Valeria was, the lyrics that Valeria was able to lay down, and just feeling the vibe. Naomi just comes out with Queens, like that's who we are, y'all. That that's our name. We're Queens, right? So, boom, we're on a high, right? You thinking, whoa, that's it. I'm checking my, oh, boom, it's not over. We got like a good little amount of minutes for something to happen, right? So, E Rock is on the phone, and trying to make some deals, and he's like, yeah, well, I got, all kinds of unreleased tracks that or lyrics or whatnot that haven't even been released yet or whatnot. So he ends that call, and he plays one of Naomi's lyrics or whatever or whatnot, and something specifically catches him, and he ends up putting that jank on repeat. And the lyrics were specifically, I'm playing house with a man who ain't my spouse. A life grows inside of me that isn't any doubt. Can't tell the world can't tell the world girl would probably can't tell the world basically because the girl would probably leave. What? And mainly the part that he was putting on repeat was a life grows inside of me, there isn't any doubt. And as he's continuing to roll through this little part in his head, Valeria walks in like, what? Jojo was yours? Jojo was yours? Naomi had your baby? What? Gone. The Okay, let's pause real quick. All right, look. Okay, because my theories is going off in my head, right? So automatically in my mind, I'm thinking like, wait a minute, what? Is she been lying? And not even that she been lying. Um, is he automatically thinking that that's his baby when it actually might not be his baby? He's like, I'm playing house with a man who ain't my spouse. A life outside of me, there isn't any doubt. That did not technically confirm that that was his baby. It was just saying she living here with a man that ain't her man, and she got a baby inside of her. She just ain't put the part that she might have been, oh no, but then can't tell the world because we'll leave, because then his girl would leave. So why she just didn't tell Cameron then that that's not his baby? Exactly. So yeah, yeah. One, I want to see next episode for sure. Two, I want to see next episode for sure. Yeah. So at this point, let's go ahead and move on, y'all, because I wasn't expecting this. So Brianna would check in with Brianna, and she is like, all right, boom. Walks in the room with her husband, who clearly watching TV, right? So she's like, I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm trying to basically, she's tired of thinking, trying to figure out what she's going to do, what she's not going to do as far as their relationship. And she's just deciding that she's just going to let it go. She's going to try to let it go. She's going to try to move past it and, start anew and make things work, whatnot, right? So she's like, are you going to say anything? Because her back is to him or whatnot. And she gets up like, she's calling his name, Jeff, Jeff, beating him up. And then she's looking at him. And mind you, like his eyes are like open, like they're not open, like mine are open, but they're like, okay, if like you were laying back, like you were watching TV, somebody walk up and be like, you sleep? Like, no, I watch TV, something like that. Like, that's like how he was or whatever, whatnot. But he was up like watching TV. And next thing you know, she checks his pulse. And she's like, no. Or like she makes like some like reaction or what dramatic reaction. And yeah, basically realizes, yeah, he wasn't responding. Yeah, no pulse. And I was like, nah, he ain't dead. But after like she got up in the bed with him and laid with him, he gone, y'all. Jeff gone. After that, I was like, Jeff gone. Jeff gone. Like, where to from here? What's this, Matt? Who the daddy? Naomi. Valeria, I still don't trust her. She's still all about, at the end of the day, if this don't work out for her, she worried about, having possibly go work at Chuck E. Cheese. Or, you, I don't trust her. Jill, I don't know. Jill gonna be alright. Jill ain't much of a concern for me right now. But as far as those other three, boy oh boy, they got some stuff going on with them. But it's only a matter of time. No, what am I talking about? Jill out here cheating on her whole girlfriend. How I forget? Don't let me do that, y'all. So catch y'all next week. Catch me back here. Go ahead and subscribe so you can make sure you see me next week so we can talk about this episode. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it. Leave me some comments and I'll catch y'all next time.